Listen up, you jabronis. When it comes to marketing, you better believe the cream always rises to the top. Yeah. Ooh, good guys and bad guys, heels versus faces. One side will reign supreme and be the champion. It may be the season of thanks, but all you're getting is a cornucopia of pain. Hi, my name is Derek J. Hoover, and this is Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling on Yesterdaze, brother.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
69, dudes!
Well, there's your problem right there, Vern.
Hey, Willie.
Goonies never say die!
I know you are, but what am I?
I know you are, but what am I?
And knowing is half the battle.
Autobots, roll out. Oh, yeah!
Gordon's alive.
Hello and welcome to Yesterdaze. I am joined, of course, by Dustin and Jason. Gentlemen, how are you? How was spooky month for both of you?
It was a good time. Yeah. I quite enjoyed myself.
And I'm jacked up. The powder keg is lit.
Oh, my God.
It rains. Wrestling.
He's angry.
He's getting on top of the turnbuckle. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen this before.
I've cleared my calendar for the next 10 years. I just figured that's how long I'll be doing this show. This is the topic that I know probably the most about of anything we've done so far, I will say.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not necessarily this specific, just like wrestling in general. And stuff. Professional
Especially
wrestling.
like for me, this era, I had to do no research for this.
It is bad wrestling though.
Yeah.
Like these guys are over the top characters in general, just like what you see on TV. Forget the cartoon, but like it's slow in bad wrestling.
Yeah, it has evolved a lot since then, but I do still find enjoyment in watching some of those.
Well, a guy who's not in the cartoon, and it's your I think is your favorite wrestler of all time, is the Ultimate Warrior. Is he your favorite?
He's one of. He's not my favorite. Like, if you say favorite wrestler, I'm thinking in-ring ability, and I'm always going to go HBK Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
That's my number one. And then you probably got Bret Hart. But, like, if you're talking characters, Ultimate Warriors, definitely. Like, I got favorite talkers. I got favorite characters, favorite workers.
Favorite growers, favorite showers.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Whole different, like, echelons.
Warrior, both.
Warriors
showing and growing.
One of the Warrior is the Kiss of professional wrestling. He did the most with the least.
He would be blown up by the time he ran into the ring and did the bouncing off the ropes. He's already gassed half the time, and it's like, well, good thing you got some nobody that you're going to do 3 moves to.
I was just going to say,
and then run your ass back.
He's got 3.5 moves in his repertoire, and you're going to see each of them thrice up there, and then that's it. Oh,
he's a fighting game brought to life.
You know, I think by all accounts, a big piece of shit too.
Yeah, he didn't. He had a lot of enemies and people that weren't exactly fans.
Sometimes
and have been very vocal about it.
You take some of those stories with a grain of salt, and you say, "Oh, there's another side of the story." But then the guy changes his name to Warrior, and you're like, "I don't know." Guy's probably fucking nuts.
Yeah. But hey, how many of us get to deliver our own eulogy the day before we drop dead?
Pretty wild.
No WWE talent becomes a legend on their own. Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe their final breath. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others, it makes them believe deeper in something than larger than life, then his essence, his spirit will be immortalized by the storytellers, by the loyalty, by the memory of those who honor him and make the running the man did live forever. I am Ultimate Warrior. You are the Ultimate Warrior fans. And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever.
That is a thing that happened.
Like it was a good one to go out on.
Damn.
His wife
you're going to.
was just released. She had a job, probably like a cushy do-nothing job
Yeah,
with WWE.
I'm pretty sure it was like, we're just taking care of the family.
I think her name was Dana Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a gimmick name. That means he changed his name.
His
like
name was Warrior.
Like Mario, right?
Mario. I have somebody on my route that due to marriage, her first name is the same as their last name.
Wow,
what's that? Can you say
that would be a deal breaker for me, I think.
I'll avoid it. I don't know if that's exactly professional.
It's a gray area.
Or just give us the address. We'll do the rest.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I would say no. The possibility that this could work out and then I'm stuck being Dustin. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that road. Or I'm going to keep my last name if we get married.
As crazy as it sounds to change your name to Warrior, I'm sure it had something to do with his career in owning his name versus someone else owning. You know what I mean?
If I'm called Warrior, you can't trademark it.
That's right. I think that has probably something to do with it.
Yeah,
but
Vince drove him to that.
It does smell of insanity. So.
Cocaine fueled insanity. And correct me if I'm wrong, he was a fan of the Schneef.
Oh, a lot of people were.
Oh yeah.
Then. Some of the characters in this cartoon were.
Yeah.
Iron Sheik, I'm looking at you.
That's a fact, Jack.
Bubba.
Well, gentlemen, any banter at the top? Anything to report? I think at the time of this recording, we haven't done it yet. But at the time of release, we will have gone to Max Sabbath and Cybertronic Spree. This is the first concert and show I will have gone to
a long time. Yeah. I was talking about that yesterday. You don't go to shows too frequently.
Let's talk about that. Do you not like going to shows?
Not really.
No.
I get
what? You get what? Diarrhea.
I don't have a good time.
Too many people?
Yeah. You crowds? Are you one of those guys? What's that called? Agoraphobic?
No, I'm not. I'm not agoraphobic necessarily. I don't have a good time there. All I can think about is other people acting like jackasses, and it's just
and Great White.
I can't. and
maybe that show, just how that show
ended.
That show, getting trapped in with a bunch of assholes and dying.
Yeah.
While seeing Max Sabbath.
Yeah, if it's outdoors like Congos, that was a good show.
Okay.
That was outside.
Riverfront show.
The Riverfront, 311 at Three Sisters Park.
Or Poor Brothers, perhaps.
That was a fine show, but it's like when I'm in somewhere, depending on the band, I get antsy. It's not like I get scared or anxiety or anything like that. I get very hyper aware and stuff like that. And
people can be annoying for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I've gotten better at like walking away from bad situations compared to when I was younger, but sometimes, man,
triggered.
Sometimes.
So the chances of you getting a fight are pretty good.
Are you gonna fight Grimace?
Well, they say nothing can stop the Grimace, but
we're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
I'm the Grimace bitch. Is that what he says? It's a small venue.
Yeah,
he's gonna jump from the top rope from the balcony onto the Grimace.
Given what these bands are, I think it's gonna be a decent crowd.
So the Cybertronic Spree, do they play Polyphonic Spree cover songs?
Nope.
No one would know what that is.
I know. That's why I thought it was an odd band name choice.
Well,
they have a new album coming out.
It's probably a subtle nod to them.
Yeah.
But doing whatever it is they do. There's no way.
Just kick-ass covers while dressed like Autobots and Decepticons.
Cybertron. And there's like a dude with a glockenspiel in the corner. You imagine how much that dude makes a show? 50 cents.
That's not a lot.
Yeah.
Sissy's my Glockenspiel.
I'm looking forward to the show. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Do you guys have tickets? I think Brian Wolford has tickets. Maybe his old lady. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm looking very forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right.
I think it's going to be great. So,
Oliver's is right next door. Get some wings or some pizza if you want before.
Yeah.
I asked my dad if he wanted to go. He politely declined.
We talked to him about it.
We did.
We talked to him yesterday.
Like, hey, the next show. This is the next show we're going to. You want in? Hang out with Hoover and your son and
that
Jason.
would be dope.
Listen to songs about robots.
Your robots need alcohol to function.
Max Sabbath, of course. Black Sabbath parody cover band dressed like McDonald's characters.
It's going to be dope.
Be weird. What's the other band? I keep
Playboy
forgetting.
Mansion.
Do you live in places? Well, you're in luck. Playboy Man Baby is coming to places. That's right, a whole bunch of places. You can see us play music in these places. If we're not coming to the place that you live, make sure to say things like this in the comments section. I live in this place and you should have come to this place, but you're not and I hate you. That's right, if we're not coming to the place you are, I did it on purpose to upset you. And you can blame me personally.
Well, like I said, the last time I saw Max Sabbath, Metalachi opened for them, which is another gimmick band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a mariachi band doing metal covers, and then before that, it was Oakley Dokley. All the band members dressed like Flanders.
That's one I want to see. I do want to see Oakley Dokley.
There seems to be a theme with these guys traveling. There's all these like kind of trivial bands or
they should have had
novelty bands.
TWRP open
in Cincinnati
or headline. Like those guys, they're really good.
Venus Flytrap, is he good there?
TWRP, man, they got like a lion for a bass player.
What is it?
They're a funk band, but they all are characters.
What's
there's a lion on bass?
There's a lion on bass.
Oh shit!
And they dress, they wear the costumes and stuff, but they make some funky ass music.
Dope.
Like they've done collaborations with like Ninja Sex Party, if you've heard of them. No, okay, just me.
More word generator names.
have heard of it because you've referenced it before.
Yeah.
I've never listened to them.
Yeah, their song "The Hit Fucks" hard.
I would go to a Food Ninja sex party. Would you guys do that?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
No one's got to know about it. They're discreet.
You guys ever play Fruit Ninja?
Yeah.
Whitten.
Slice
Putting on the
watermelon
Ritz.
and shit.
Oh my god, I'm bantered out, guys.
Just bantered out.
Let's get to the main event.
Well, we do have a little business at the top of the show.
Pause the main event.
Gentlemen, we have 2 new patrons.
Say what?
We have 2 new patrons.
Record scratch sound effect.
They're both me, right?
They are not both you,
Oh.
but we would welcome you as well.
What's that?
You're gonna get the Bill Bellamy month.
I'm gonna chime in with my money, and I'm gonna demand a Bill Bellamy month.
Awesome. Bill Bellamy month.
You don't have to do that. I will give you a Bill Bellamy
Month.
episode. I'm not giving you a month.
I requested this one, and
Why
I
do you get to choose everything? Why don't Dustin and I get
I gave
some?
him a list. This one was on the list.
yeah.
I feel like I chose this episode.
He gave me a list.
I'm telling you what I would like to do, and you're telling me no.
No, all I said was I don't want to do an entire month of Bill Bellamy.
Why not? Have you looked?
Sweeps week.
Have you looked through his IMDb?
Yeah.
Impressive.
Did you hear that bit about having a black mama versus having a white mama?
That's an
That's
episode.
gold.
That's one episode
A
right
bit
there.
about how everything's great in the beginning.
That's one episode right there.
Yeah, sure.
We'll find out how to be a player.
I mean, I
Def Jam.
kind of already know, but I'm interested to see what he has to say about it.
Yeah.
You want to know his 2 cents. Yeah.
Hey, I Dallas. What's up? Bill Bellamy says hi.
We're old.
Yeah.
We're old guys
Old
now.
fellows.
They got old somehow.
Well, I would like to welcome Nate and Allison Troy as new patrons.
Oh, they're a couple?
No. We got 2 since our last recording.
His and her subscriptions.
Okay. Well, they're not a couple.
Well, you just said Nate and her full name
Okay.
to make it sound like they are a couple.
No.
Why doesn't Nate, is he a singular?
He is
named?
he is singular, but he also goes by Nostalgia Nate. You can find him on X.
Okay.
We kind of fell into being friends in like the toy collector community and vintage community.
As long as it's not nasty, Nate.
it's not nasty, Nate.
Devil man. Devil 666, the mark of the beast. No. Naughty. Naughty jungle of love.
Cocktail. Fruit Ninja.
Are you the Squirrel Master? You kind of look like him.
That's what they called me at Bible school.
There's a sequel coming out. Did you guys know
What?
that? Half Baked 2?
Full baked?
I think the only people that are in it from the originals are Harlan Williams and then is that girl?
I can't imagine Chappelle.
That girl's name is there Rachel True? Is that the
Oh,
hot,
yeah,
the hot
yeah,
black
from The
girl?
Craft.
Yeah, she's in it. I think it's
mac and
those two.
cheese all day, baby.
Why?
She's a total babe.
Why is this happening?
Yeah, why is she in it if
Why is this
if
hap-
Chappelle's not?
Why is this happening? Period.
I mean, that's a ridiculous. It's money, of course. Someone thinks there's money to be made there. Why does anything happen?
That's fair.
That's so. Someone.
Hey, we're about to find out.
Yeah, I won't be at opening night for that one.
on your couch when it's VOD premiere.
Our second patron is my good friend Allison Troy. She has her own channel on YouTube as well. You'll see it pop up sometimes on our Twitter. She very much into retro and vintage lines as well. So please welcome them both.
Yeah, I've checked out some of the content.
Welcome.
They have.
And thank you.
Bienvenue.
They have picked. I will talk to you guys about it off pod. They picked some pretty good ones. Allison's is a very deep cut, and I think
Garbage Pail Kids, the movie?
no.
Damn it.
No. But that is on the list. We will talk about that.
I want to use
Shit
my
show.
DVD that Jason got for me.
I forgot.
Oh, God.
It was supposed to be for drunk at the
it's
movies, and it
terrifying.
never happened.
Speaking of that, we still need to do fast food.
Yeah.
One of these days.
This lady, what's her name? Allison Troy. You said? She has a YouTube channel. What's her favorite topic on nostalgia? Like, does she have a line of things that her favorite IP?
She is a big fan of Wonder Woman. She is a huge fan of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Her pick kind of
In that
ties into
realm.
It's,
Sure.
it's in that wheelhouse.
Yeah, I don't want you don't have to say what it is. I was
Yeah.
just curious if she had like a thing that she specialized in, or really it was her favorite thing or focused on. But mainly powerful women in the 80s and 90s IPs.
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
her mom's Helen, so it checks out.
Helen and Troy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Say hi to your mother for me. Hey, chicken.
Hey, I heard your mom's got a face that could launch 1,000 ships.
I think that's really great. Look, I'm talking about invading this entire city. This is a really big deal. This is a great opportunity, okay? I just want you to think about it. Say hi to your mother for me.
If I knew the name of that Transformers band, I was going to say it as Mark Wahlberg, but I don't know.
Oh, come on. Cybertronic Spree.
Is that okay? I would have guessed that, but it's too late.
If you cosplay Mark Wahlberg and talk to them as Mark Wahlberg.
I'm gonna cosplay Andy Samberg as Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
There's
that's it.
layers.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Well, gentlemen, what frame of reference do either of you have for Hulk Hogan's
Jesus.
Rockin' Wrestling? All of it.
I have the entire frame, the whole kit and caboodle.
You got it all.
I was the target demo.
Now, was it a Saturday morning watch for you?
Yeah.
Like every Saturday you're there.
And guess
you
what?
got
I
your-
can tell you what it was airing up against. That
Go
was
for it.
something that I had mentioned that I thought would be nice to know. What
Bitch and
was
Touch. What was it
running
facing
with?
off against?
So it was on CBS, and in the fall of '86, we're talking on CBS. You had the Berenstain Bears, Muppet Babies, Pee Wee's Playhouse, Teen Wolf,
yeah,
Galaxy High School, CBS Story Break, and then Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling at noon.
That's It had
was-
a
and-
weird time spot.
And it had zero competition because it was going against ABC weekend specials. Those are hit and miss.
Yeah.
And then Laser Tag Academy. Thanks, but no thanks.
Laser Tag
Academy was a.
I don't remember.
I'll stick with the Hulk Hogan Rockin' Wrestling, please
Yeah.
and thank you.
That was not a good
And
one.
then I'm going to watch Superstars.
Laser Tag's its own episode, by the way. I don't. 80s. The promise of lasers and being tagged by them is the coolest thing.
It was.
You could think
it's
of.
all
We
you
had 'em
wanted to do.
they're in
It's
school
all you wanted to
photos, too.
try. Those were sweet photos.
A couple years ago, I went up to Madison to see my buddy, and we went to this huge warehouse, and it was like, I think it was like 30 on 30 laser tag arena.
No
it was,
shit,
it was
that
pretty
sounds
nuts. It was
kind
pretty
of
nuts.
awesome.
It was kind of cool. Laser tag is still kind of cool.
Oh yeah. It's one of those things
The
I would still play
classics
it.
never go away.
Yeah, it's one of those things I would probably still play it. I think at the time, people thought it was going to be a lot bigger.
I haven't
than
played
was.
it since high school.
I haven't played it
think.
since college.
There was some place in Peoria we did a lock-in with the youth group. They had a Garner's Pizza and Wings in there as well, but they had laser tag. They had like Joust, like on American Gladiators, and stuff that like us bigger kids could have fun playing on. And yeah, we did a lock-in and they had laser tag, and I remember really enjoying that. But yeah, I can't say I've played it since.
This place had like big wooden crates that I went to. It had like a helicopter in the middle, like a real helicopter.
So it's like paintball, but laser
Oh,
tag.
dope.
Yeah,
instead.
but like
pretty cool.
little buildings you could get in it. I don't know. It was pretty dope. Sign me up for later.
Hell yeah. It still sounds fun.
Do you guys want to open a laser tag business in
Kinda.
the Peoria area?
Kinda.
Warehouse District got plenty of real estate.
It's true.
Multi-level laser tag.
Been gentrified.
You got to do it, guys.
Well, building off of some of what Dustin said, the show was created for CBS by Deke Animation.
Deke.
Dick? What? Dick? You heard me.
No. Your name is Richard.
Sorry, it's Dick.
Well, then, Dick. How is school?
It sucks cock. Yeah, that's
Deke.
Big old Deke.
Big old Deke. It was produced by animation mainstay Gene Shalapon.
Gene Shalit.
Shalapon. Not Gene Shalit.
Oh, Gene Shalapon.
Don't panic, Room. I just want your tango and cash. Gene Shalit sucks, didn't he?
He's the guy with the big weird hair and the glasses.
Yes.
And the,
yes.
Is he still alive?
He was a Rudy Tooty. Remember the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity commercials? With the Groucho glasses, you know, nose and the mustache.
Yeah.
He was those glasses brought to life, given human form, and like, you review movies now.
Yeah. Sorry, I just for a split second
I'll
thought
accept
Gene
this
Shalit was
job.
involved in this venture.
With terms of endearment. Now I'm going to go.
He sounds like Iago from Aladdin.
I'm gonna go to the
It's kind of going Gilbert.
concession stands and get myself plenty of John Candy.
Is this what's happening here? You think?
I don't.
Is this from the? Is that from like real episodes he did, or are you just pulling
No,
this out of
this
your
is
ass?
kind of the weird shit he
Family
would
Guy?
do. It builds off the Family Guy thing when Gene Shalit is
he's on
robbing
Family Guy.
He's robbing Lois and Peter, but that is kind
pay
of
Paul.
how. Very good.
You're welcome.
How Gene Shalit would go about his reviews and stuff, and it was so.
So why did he make this cartoon?
Fucking. Well, he didn't. You'll be
I
happy
just
to know.
thought he did.
Oh,
The name I said was Gene Shalapon.
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 Yeah.
The internet. Who produced a lot of cartoons. So that name will come up quite a bit with Andy Hayward. The show was produced during the 1980s professional wrestling boom, sometimes known as the Golden Era, but sometimes also known as the Rock and Wrestling Era.
Yeah, because it got MTV involved.
MTV was involved. Cyndi Lauper started.
Captain Lou Albino,
Alice Cooper's.
yeah,
Liberace.
Around this time, this speaks to a.
He was there. WrestleMania 1.
I like what you did there.
it's Fred Armisen's.
Yes.
Visual
I
gags for us.
Love Fred Armisten's Liberace.
How big are those piano keys, huh?
Now I'd like to introduce our most horrifying songsmith. Ladies and gentlemen, the ghost of Liberace!
Thank you. Well, before I start my song, I want to show you all something. This is a trick-or-treat bag that was given to me by the president of Argentina. And as you can see, it's covered in sapphires and topaz.
Where's the ghost costume, Liberace?
Ghost? I thought we agreed on Restoration France by way of Atlantic City.
Save your sassy asides for your windowless bars. Now, prepare your ears for a truly horrifying performance. I shall recite Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, while Liberace provides haunting accompaniment. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over a many quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. Haunting, Liberace, haunting! While I nodded nearly... Guys, Is this music working for you? Because it is not working for me.
Now, this era, it speaks to a restructuring and a new means of promoting wrestling by the likes of Vince McMahon. That will be covered in much greater detail to do it proper justice.
We could do a whole after Bellamy month. We could do McMahon month.
Let's go back-to-back months.
Back-to-back
huge
months.
personalities.
Huge months.
Bellamy,
We'll do a full
McMahon,
week on
Shalley. At least 2 weeks.
Yeah,
At least 2 weeks.
yeah.
Tonight, however, we
2 big
are
weeks.
we are just focusing solely on the animated series Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling.
Nuts.
Yeah.
I do look forward to doing that era of wrestling because.
Are we talking toys too, or just a cartoon?
Well, there's just a cartoon because there's no toys related to this show.
True.
There was plenty of merchandise, but I want to save that.
I think there was toys related.
There was a product. It wasn't a toy.
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't labeled as being tied to the cartoon. They were tied to the wrestling that was going on, but they were producing toys of characters from this cartoon.
Well,
but not all.
I don't know if we'll sit on it. We'll see if we're thinking about the same
Just
thing.
call me Potsy because I'm sitting on it.
Potsy. No, I want to save those LGN figures because they had two different lines of it. They had smaller ones that you could put your finger in and wrestle in a ring, and then there were the larger Foley, like rubber ones that could fight. So when it comes to those toys, I want to save that for when we actually discuss that era of the actual wrestling itself, because I think that's going to tie in nicely with it. And the figures were modeled more off of their real life counterparts.
Well, Jason and I have got knowledge locked and loaded.
I am looking forward to that episode because I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to intro the show and just let you two go ham because admittedly I do not know a shit ton about wrestling.
Yeah.
So the series debuted on September 14th, 1985. It ran until October 18th, 1986, with reruns airing until June 27th, 1987. At the time of the show's release, the number one song is a fucking banger.
Frank Stallone.
It is on my route playlist. It is St. Elmo's Fire by John Parr.
Oh, you're a man in motion. On the job.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Once again, the number one movie, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
All I need is a set of wheels.
This was September 85. It was still dominating the box office. And it was just before Invasion USA knocked it down a peg or two. Now, in regards to the cartoon, the plot of the show was incredibly simple and very thin. Episodes came down typically to Hogan's team of faces running afoul of a scheme perpetrated by Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Now, wrestling speak, faces means good guys, and then heels means bad guys.
That's right.
Faces or baby faces.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not the band with Rod Stewart. I didn't want people being confused.
And tuning in and thinking they're saying
that's
why are they talking about Rod Stewart?
It's like watching Halloween 3 and waiting for Michael Myers to show up.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen.
Silver
This
Shamrock.
movie's not for you. So Piper was in charge of a cadre of heels. Occasionally, there were different villains of the week, but the formula was fairly regular fare. You had good guys win, a lesson is learned, rinse and repeat. There were all sorts of wacky cartoon hijinks that, of course, would occur.
I love hijinks.
Oddly enough...
Especially Deke hijinks.
Deke hijinks.
Deke jinx.
You need them. Dink jinx. Dink jinx. The strange thing about this show... Wrestling itself figured into the plot of the show very little.
It's in the title.
It's in the
next. You're going to tell me there was no rock and roll in it.
There was zero rock and roll.
I was sold a bill of goods.
I think
Hulk was. He was in a band. Hulk Hogan was in.
He was in like a bar cover band.
No, he was like. He was in there was like a big band, like a Hall of Fame band that he was like around at the very beginning, right?
He was Toto.
No, you know
Asia?
No, do you know what I'm talking about or not?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna figure it out.
Okay, you
figure it out because
I thought he just played bass in some shitty bar band. Was all I had been aware of.
I do think Hulk Hogan these days is selling a lot of different bills of goods to people that aren't real.
How do you think he got a new wife as old as his daughter?
Because he's rich and famous.
Gross.
Right.
That's fucking gross.
Yeah, it's been weird for a while.
I did.
Yeah.
Wait, why
He's
did...
made comments about his daughter that verge on Trumpian.
Well, yeah, that...
He's buddies with Jessica Simpson's dad.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Now, I remember the stuff about him and his daughter, like, when that show was coming out. Well, and, like, his wife, his wife was out.
She ended up marrying a friend of her son's.
Jesus Christ!
Yep. Hogan knows best. Or something.
Okay.
Yeah. They got some problems.
See,
But now here's
a weird thing. An older woman with a
karaoke
younger...
and eating wings.
An older woman with a younger man does not skeeve me the way an older man with a younger woman does.
Depends on if they're parents.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, I have a kid, years younger than me. So, yeah, for me to go date somebody that much younger, that's weird.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
It will always be weird because she will never change her age.
Yeah.
So,
like that's your But
if you don't have kids, you don't think that way.
I guess. I don't know, man. It just... Ugh. I don't know, like, let's flash forward.
We're doing an episode about that with Jewel State and Ben Foster, the Canadian Disney show. That was a good show.
Did you just say the female's lead of that show's name?
Jewel State. Yep.
She
was on Firefly.
This is head of the class talk all over again.
She's on Firefly.
Ben Foster, I get. Indie darling, legitimately a great actor. But no one knows that woman's
Tucker
name.
and Becca. They were best friends.
Hey, Tucker. Hey, when did you get back from the lake? Yesterday.
And you didn't call me?
No, why? That's Becca. She's been my best friend my whole life. We grew up together. She's someone I can always count on. To get on my case.
What's that on your chin?
I caught myself shaving.
Might as well shave a grapefruit.
Oh, please, like you would know anything about grapefruits. Grapes, maybe.
It's a good show.
Ay, caramba.
It was the same time as Even Stevens.
You had to. Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was before that tour.
Maybe
Like
a little
you had to
before.
have a subscription before it became part of cable for the
Maybe.
Disney Channel. Because I don't remember seeing that.
But yes, for some reason, wrestling did not actually figure that much into the show.
Lame. It's too hard to animate on a Deke budget.
All it was, wrestling was just relegated to merely a means to determine the heels from the faces within the confines of the cartoon.
Yeah.
That's about it. There weren't matches. There weren't championship belts. It was odd adventures like the episode I watched.
Yeah.
So
Are you going to go through the list of characters?
I do have characters and voices.
Because I was curious to know which wrestling characters you're actually familiar with, having not grown up ingesting this on a weekly basis.
This is okay. That's going to be an odd opportunity
Because some are in the cultural zeitgeist, but some of these
everybody
names
knows Hogan.
definitely are not. But I know them well, so
you're about to find out how strange my brain works.
Okay.
If you haven't already picked up on that after knowing me since we were 16 and 17.
You're wearing a
living
He-Man
together.
shirt.
I never abandoned him on a bike ride.
Yeah.
But we never rode bikes together because we were in high school.
We were in high school. I can't wait to go to high school.
Don't ever say that. For the love of God.
Stay here for as long as you can. The series aired for a total of 2 seasons, comprising a total of 26 episodes and 39 cartoons. So
sounds like about half a year.
Yeah, and what you had some Saturday mornings it was a full 30 minutes. Sometimes it was split into 2 little shorts. So I mean that's how that shook out. As far as the cast was made up of Hogan's fellow faces and Piper's heels.
I'm so healthy, I'm like a vitamin pill with legs. Ringing. My mother-in-law. Yay, my goodness. I wonder what they say. It must be the president. Let me see. Hi, Hot Rod here. I'm not home right now. You probably figured that out all by your little self. But you leave your name and number and maybe I'll call you. You're kind of bugging me. I may not call you. Maybe I will call you. So it depends how high your voice is. Oh, Derek.
Hi, Roddy.
I'm calling to let you know what a fan I am of Hulk Hogan. He's the greatest.
No, please, Dr. Hammond! No!
Keep that in mind, Piper being a heel at the time, because that figures into a weird inconsistency with the show.
He's a great heel.
The actual wrestlers, whose obviously their production schedule kept them on the road quite a bit for events, it prevented them from doing any of the voices. You had occasional interstitials, live action interstitials,
vignettes.
And stuff. Vignettes.
I have a story about that later.
Pork and beans.
Yeah.
King and queen.
They would just do these things to like intro the episode.
Yeah, intro, outro, or in between. Just act as bumpers.
You can find those on YouTube too.
Yes, you can. But what that meant was you ended up leaning on professional voice actors to fill out the cast.
Or Brad Garrett.
Number one on the list is Hulk Hogan.
Listen here, brother.
He did fine.
Yeah. He did fine.
He did fine with the voice.
That voice he did for Hogan, I think he 100% replicated as Lobo on
the Marvel
WB
DC comic character.
Yeah. So in the
I didn't realize there was a Lobo cartoon.
I didn't either.
Well, there wasn't a cartoon, but he featured on several episodes of Superman the Animated Series on Kids WB. And then when that graduated, the Batman the Animated Series, New Adventures of Batman and Robin, and Superman graduated to Justice League, then Justice League Unlimited on Cartoon Network, he showed up again as Lobo. And it's a very Hulk Hogan-esque voice, which is fitting because if there was a professional wrestler of the galaxy in the DC universe, it would probably be Lobo.
The only Lobo I care about is the one played by Steve Guttenberg in the 1990s film Don't Tell Her It's Me. Listen to it. It'll be episode 8 of Goots Glutes, coming soon to all yesteryear's patrons.
Coming soon!
If you're in the mood for a lighthearted romantic comedy, check out Steve Guttenberg and Shelley Long in Don't Tell Her It's Me. A less than successful Romeo gets a little more help than he needs and discovers that you just can't disguise true love.
Hello?
Hi, Emily. Gus here.
What do you do when the girl you love
You're never going to get her to go out with you.
I'm having some oral surgery done.
is in love with somebody else?
Emily was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Get discouraged?
She's going to get married, Gus, if we don't act fast.
Give up? Or listen to your big sister?
I can make Emily fall in love with you.
Because with a little help,
Making love is like building a barbecue fire.
a little sweat,
What we're going to need is instant devastation.
and a lot of hair,
Yes!
you can win the girl you love over. If you're Lobo, the hunter,
I don't know your name.
Lobo Marunga.
Lobo Marunga.
Lobo, is it?
Yes.
Are you gay?
Gay. No, I am not.
Great. Are you free of disease?
I've got an ingrown toenail, but Emily, I am.
Don't talk. That's all I wanted to know.
Emily,
I cannot do this anymore. It is over.
She loves you, Gus.
I don't think Lizzie approves of you.
Why?
And you love her.
She had some crazy notion about me and her brother.
Really?
I'm pulling the plug on Lobo. This is not fair to Emily. I have to tell her.
Shelley Long of Outrageous Fortune, Steve Guttenberg of Cocoon and Three Men and a Little Lady, Kyle MacLachlan of Twin Peaks, and Jamie Gertz of Less Than Zero.
I think I love you.
Don't tell her it's me.
All right, 2 points for the Gus Buster.
Don't tell her it's me. The first of our Crowd Pleasers program.
I've never seen it, but I've heard the How Did This Get Made episode about it.
Oh, really? Yeah. Shelley Long's it was a weird, like,
it's
straight to HBO movie.
I have vague memories of it.
Yeah.
Heard it's a stinker. Veteran voice actor Charlie Adler as Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Louis Arquette as Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
I've heard of his kids.
And you had James Avery as the Junkyard Dog, James Avery.
Yeah, of course.
Uncle Phil. He also voiced Shredder on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Jodie Carlisle as Wendy Richter and the Fabulous Moolah. George DeCenzo as Captain Lou Albano. Ron Feinberg as Andre the Giant. Feel free to pipe in that.
I like vanilla.
1 scoop of vanilla.
And now, Andre the Giant chooses an ice cream flavor.
Hello, lady. What do I want? Mint chocolate chip? No, it's too minty. Moose tracks. Who names this? I would call it fudge plus vanilla with some peanuts in it. I don't know. I'll leave that to the professional. So many flavors. I wish I could eat all of you. One scoop of vanilla. Thank you.
This has been Andre the Giant chooses an ice cream flavor.
So many choices.
Such a weird
Moose
sketch.
tracks. What is that? I love that sketch.
It
so
makes
funny.
me laugh every damn time.
I can't. And now Andre the Giant orders a scoop of ice cream.
I think Jason Segel he wanted to marry two things. He wanted to marry his impression of that, and then also having Don Pardo doing some big booming intro to his sketch.
It worked.
By the way, in honor of Andre the Giant, feel free to pipe in that time I was sick. It sounded like Andre the
Oh, I
Giant.
can't find that audio.
Oh,
I
Shauna
don't-
can. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Let's see. We left off with Andre. Pat Fraley. We've mentioned him a few times. He's
Yeah.
Hillbilly Jim. Ron Gans as Nikolai Volkov. Ernest Harada as Mr. Fuji. Aaron Kincaid as the Iron Sheik. Chuck Lassini as Big John Studd. Joe Pinto as Tito Santana. And Neil Ross, another favorite of ours, O.G. Reedmore as Mean Gene Okerlund. That was your main cast.
You think they could at least get Mean Gene? He's not announcing house shows.
See, I'm thinking the same thing about Captain Lou Albino. Is why couldn't they get that guy?
Yeah, if he could
He's
do...
still on the road, though.
Was he on the road a lot
Because
back
he's
then?
a manager.
Was he doing it a lot? Okay.
Yeah.
But he did Mario.
He, yeah, right. A few years later, he was on the Mario and Luigi show.
Yes,
Super Show,
the
wasn't
Super
it?
Show.
Yeah, he was probably managing like the British Bulldogs or something around this time.
Okay. Can I pipe in with my story here?
Yes,
Like
yes.
Roddy Piper. Jason.
So
Piper's Pit.
I go to a lot of rummage sales, estate sales.
Yeah.
Sometimes estate sales is just a family that comes in. They said we're going to price all of our shit and sell it. But sometimes there's a few companies locally, and you hire them. They'll come in. They'll
Like an auction, they come through with the truck.
not necessarily an auction, no, but they'll come in, go through your stuff, price it, and then they'll take a certain percentage of what's sold. And at the end, if they've done their job correctly, you don't have to worry about any of the stuff that you want to get rid of.
Sure.
I know some of these people from doing it so often, and one guy is from Midwest Liquidators. His name is Mike. And Mike is, he's probably 60 years old. And I was talking to Mike one time. I bought some old poster. It's actually framed down the hallway. It's a poster of a Cornstalk Theater production. And Mike was like, you know what? I was actually in that. I back in the day, I was a local actor. I did a lot of theater performances, and I would do local commercials back in the day. I said, that's interesting. It's like, actually, something I did a long time ago. The WWF came to town, and they said, do you have any local actors? They were recording live action bits for their cartoon show that they were doing. And I was like, is that right? He's like, yeah. And he said he did an extremely racist character.
Wasn't it a Mr. Fuji impression?
I think it was like an assistant to Mr. Fuji, who was also he's a Jewish guy, so he has certain features that in a certain light maybe you could transform into Asian, maybe.
Because I remember when this happened, and I let you borrow.
I knew you had the cartoon.
Yeah.
And I said, because this is what the guy said to me. He said, I remember we went to like a little studio on North Galena Road in Peoria, and we recorded this thing.
So he's got details that no person would make up.
I don't see the point in him lying to me. I didn't come to him and say, you know what, Mike, you know what I love more than anything in the world is 1980s WWF. Isn't that cool? And it's not like he was like cooking, like, oh, here's a scheme I could tell. There's no one wins.
Right.
So by all accounts, I assume this is true. Somewhere on North Galena Road, he goes and he records something with Mr. Fuji, and I can't remember the other guy's name. But I think it was like a Thanksgiving related sketch or something.
Okay.
And you know those sketches that you pop in, like you start the show, end the show, and then the commercials, they're like 30 to 60 seconds. Maybe they're real quick.
Mean Gene here at the Main Street Gym with the likes of Big John Studd, working out intensely on the weights. It seems to be a ritual of yours.
Hey, to become the giant of wrestling today, it wasn't easy. I had to get up early in the morning, like I said before, and I grab these big, heavy dumbbells, and I do curl after curl after curl to get this body big and strong. I lift all the heavy weight.
And that's why you consider yourself the self-professed giant.
No, I'm not the self-professed. I came out. I took Andrea, slammed him on the mat. They brought a big crane in, picked him up, put him on a flatbed truck, and God has, who knows where he's going.
Oh, wait a minute. Put just a second here, Big John.
Hey,
Yes.
that looks nice and cold. Come on, honey, give me a drink.
No, Hillbilly Jim asked me to put this in the refrigerator.
Man, I don't care what Hillbilly Jim. Come on, honey, give me a drink.
You can't have it.
Come on, give me a drink. Come on, come on, come on.
Here, that's a little
Hey,
rude
that
on your
looks
part,
good, that
Big
looks
John.
good.
It looks good. Brandon,
All right, here it goes.
Let's see how he likes it.
What is that?
That's Hillbilly's possum porridge.
Possum porridge?
Possum porridge!
And he said, all these years later, I've never been able to track it down. I've never been able to see it. I don't know what it looks like, and I don't know where to find it. Someone said they have over at WCBU, or he said someone local may have like an actual film reel of it. And I was like, oh, I don't know. It's like I think my friend actually has the whole series on DVD.
Yep, I'm that guy.
He's the guy.
So I borrowed it from Dustin, and I had like almost zero interest in watching the cartoons. So what I did was just I put it in, and I would do a fast forward.
It was 3 discs. It was all the cartoons in sequential order, recorded off of the USA Cartoon Express when it was in syndication. And it doesn't have commercials, but it'll have like the little bumpers at the end. I found out they were airing Highlander the cartoon, which I didn't know was a thing.
That was a thing.
At the same time, and there was another cartoon I'd never heard of. I'm like, yep, that sounds like USA cartoons that I remember.
Yeah, this is just some nice little bootleg someone put together. I go through each disc and I fast forward through all the episodes to see if I can, I'd pause it or I'd play I'd play it in real time, the parts where it was live action. I didn't see any bit that resembled what he was talking about, and I didn't see any character that I didn't recognize that could have been him.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back to him and I said, Mike, I watched that whole thing twice and I did not see it.
If he thought maybe it was for the cartoon and it was actually for like one of the other WWF shows,
yeah, it could
it'd
be
harder to
entirely.
track down.
Yeah.
But
But he always said he would want to see it, and he thought it was funny, and he shared that with me, and I made an effort, a genuine effort to try to find it. And if I did, I would be like, "Hey, Mike, check this out." But I didn't.
No,
he wasn't.
At least not with that.
Yeah. So that's my very loose connection to this show.
Deke.
And also, I don't know if you were going to bring this up. I sound like you might have, but like, you got the bad guys and the good guys, but that changes. That changes in wrestling.
We're just about to get into that, my friend, because that is something. Being a cartoon that has to be produced on an entirely different schedule than what the WWF was doing at the time, as far as storylines, and was it called kayfabe back then?
Kayfabe, yeah.
Kayfabe, sorry.
And here's the thing: we talk about the wrestling in the matches being slower than nowadays. Storylines moved at a much slower pace than they do nowadays as well, because there wasn't as much weekly programming, and they only did pay-per-views every 3 to 4 months instead of every month. They got to have these big matches. They could let things build for a quarter of the year, sometimes half a year, and they don't do that anymore. So even with producing these in advance, it still moved at too fast of a pace to be able to be relevant to what was in the cartoon.
Or exactly, not necessarily relevant maybe, but like mirror what's happening on TV at the time. It would be impossible to line those.
They never went to an amusement park. Never happened in the ring.
That I feel like is something like early to mid 90s WWF or WCW would do, is have a theme park show.
Doink wasn't there yet.
That would have been perfect.
But no, that is very true. The animation production times differed greatly from how the pacing was with the ever-changing production schedule of WWF's live-action sports entertainment plot. The cartoon versions of these characters did not always reflect their real-world counterparts or what their role in current WWF storylines were. So, for example, Piper, as stated, he was a heel. He was a leader. He was the leader of the heels. That was at the outset of the show, and for the remainder of it. However, by 1986, he had switched to being a face. Andre the Giant, who was originally a face.
Oh my God, his heel turn was traumatizing. He turned on his best friend Hulk Hogan. He ripped the damn crucifix from Hulk's neck and made him bleed as it was embedded into his chest.
Stigmata? Or?
Yeah, he totally crucified Hogan.
Staccata?
Andre the Giant induced stigmata on Hulk Hogan.
But it led to their matchup. WrestleMania 3.
He turned heel in early 87, which conflicted with the reruns. Furthermore, characters like Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Wendy Richter, they remained in the show for the run of the cartoon, but they had left the WWF late in 1985.
Fun fact, Jimmy Snuka may be the only cartoon murderer on Saturday morning.
I was just going to say, did you guys watch the episode where he murdered that lady? That
you don't remember the Menendez Brothers comedy variety hour
What
cartoon?
about Lil Dahmer?
Little Dahmer.
Lil Dahmer
was
was
having a
that
nosh.
That was a show too. Lil Dahmer,
because he's from Wisconsin.
Yeah, got
Oh, I'm starving.
broomstick raped to death.
Oh, boy.
It's a bad way to go.
Couldn't have happened to a better person.
They say he found Christ at the end.
Okay, well.
At the end of the mop?
Yeah. I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that.
Who sang
Found heaven in a mop that night.
Who sang Walking in Memphis?
Mark Cohn.
Is that a Mark Cohn song?
That's a Mark Colin song.
That's disgusting.
That is.
This show makes me sick.
Yeah. That's disgusting. Needless to say, consistency was not easily achieved with the brand in regards to the cartoon.
Yeah.
Now, an additional thing, I ended up stumbling across this. One thing that I noticed, especially with the title card, there was a character I never saw in the cartoon.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
So, if you look into it, Mad Maxine, she was intended to be a part of this show.
I legit don't even remember her.
I don't think she's around very long.
She
from
wasn't.
her days in the WWF.
The latest protege of the fabulous Moolah.
Here is your winner, Mad Maxine.
Mad Maxine. Look at that kisser on her. Phew.
Because she was intended to be included in the cartoon.
Looked badass, though.
She's in some of the title card art and production art. But her time with the WWF was very short.
I wonder if she was in Glow and like they brought her over. She looked like Wendy O. Williams from the Plasmatics. Okay. She had like this Thunderdome mohawk and like chain mail, glamazon.
She looked tall.
Very
too.
glamazon.
So I wonder if maybe she was in Glow, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, she ended up not being included in the cartoon.
Yeah.
So the intro to the cartoon featured live action shots of the Hulk with his ring entrance theme at the time.
Yeah, the boring one.
I actually kind of like this theme to the show, this intro.
Well, it's the same intro that would be reworked into Ravishing, performed by Bonnie Tyler.
Oh, a Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler.
Exactly. This was before Hulk switched to Real American.
Bonnie Tyler, the pop singer.
Yes.
That song or that melody or whatever would be put into an actual song of hers,
it got
unrelated
reworked.
to wrestling.
Unrelated to wrestling.
And then people would just yell, Hulk! Hulk!
She'd Hulk out on him.
Yeah.
Now, though it is remembered fondly by many, the show was meant to draft off of WWE and specifically Hulk Hogan's mass appeal. Hulk Hogan was everywhere.
Yep, he was the golden
80s.
boy, literally.
Oh, yes. It was just meant to act as a supporting piece of media for the overall media franchise that was WWF in the 1980s, as well as Hogan himself as a brand. The show has not been collected officially on DVD or Blu-ray. That's probably why
It's been collected at my house.
A bootleg.
Yeah.
Now, it was, for a period, it was available on the WWE Network. However, when Hulk Hogan was fired on July 24th, 2015...
said some bad things.
Because he said some dumb shit. All references and related media concerning Hulk Hogan, including rock and wrestling...
But haven't they patched things up since then?
Well, yeah, it was initially removed from WWE Network. Hulk was rehired, but the cartoon never returned to the WWE.
He's still getting those Dana Warrior payments.
That's right.
It never returned to the WWE Network, but you can find some episodes on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's how I had to track him down. So
we could have had a viewing party at my house. Could have watched the whole third disc.
The whole third disc. Now, there was little to no merchandise related to the cartoon, which kind of seems like a missed opportunity.
Not even a lunchbox and a thermos?
Not that I found.
That's crazy.
We'll get to the one thing that I did find, and you would be shocked to find out how these sell on eBay.
Let me know because I'm gonna bring up the thing I found as well.
Okay, bitchin'. But between the cartoon designs, which I thought overall were pretty good, and the look for the characters, as well as some of the vehicles you see on the show, because Hulk kind of had like this white kind of Eldorado, old school Eldorado kind of caddy.
Does it have a stupid name too, like the Gazooka?
I don't think it was named quite like that.
Okay.
Roddy Piper had a pretty kick-ass vehicle.
Yeah, they should have made Hot Wheels.
Yeah, at the very least have some Hot Wheels tie-ins or something like that. I think you could have seen some success.
Probably Matchbox.
With a cartoon line.
An actual hot rod, yeah.
Yeah.
However, outside of the WWF Superstar toys already available, which we will talk about in time, the only thing there was a line of collectible eraser figurines by Winston Toys that were produced specific to the cartoon as the cross sale on the back of the product's card matched up with the character designs for the cartoon. That's the only thing that was available. The entire set was comprised of Hulk, Junkyard Dog, Wendy Richter, Iron Sheik, Roddy Piper, and Jimmy Snuka. You can find them on eBay, but they are not cheap. The Hulk Hogan ones I saw, that's the ticket.
Okay, this is the thing I found. It is the same thing you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
And that's an eraser?
It's
if you look at the top left corner, it does mention that it is an eraser.
Wow.
But the card in the back does feature, pretty much the whole cast of the show.
Sure.
And it definitely says Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling.
And those do look like just miniature versions of the LJN figures for the most part.
And let's not,
the poses aren't exactly the same, but like the paint job and like it looks
I don't
similar.
know much about their production,
Yeah.
like how they were made, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is, for lack of a better term, a shrinky-dink version of those characters. Like maybe it was made with a material that, it will shrink down, but we're going to basically use the same essential mold, or find a way to make it smaller. I remember eraser figurines. That was a thing I had an Alf one when I was a kid. Like in first grade, I had an Alf one.
I might have one. I might have one in the other room. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay. But yeah, that was the only thing that was made in regards to products for the show. The ones I saw online sell for quite a bit of money. I believe the Hulk Hogan's ones I saw were selling between $300 and $400.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, for an eraser. Now, the only other toy-related item I happened to come across was an independent creator by the name of Beardsy's Toys, who is apparently taking orders for a 7-inch Rock and Wrestling Hulk in a limited run for about $135.
See, I want the vintage stuff. I want the vintage stuff. Okay, I went to my room and I did find this. I love mid-century stuff. I found this weird cork ball that's got holes in it specifically to hold pens and pencils.
Oh, yeah.
And I fill it with ones that I think are interesting. And I found this a couple years ago, and it is not from the show.
Okay.
But it is along the line.
Oh
he's
my
hugging
god!
the
Yeah,
pencil.
the pencil hugger guys. Yeah.
So this is
that is dope.
A red-orange WWF pencil, and Hulk's kind of at the top hanging on.
Yeah,
to it.
I would
we
put
gotta
that
post
at
a picture of
around
that, yeah.
90, 91, I would guess.
I think it probably says on the back. I'll check that out real quick.
Yeah, we got to put a picture of that up. That's great. Those were pretty popular in the 80s and 90s, though, like pencil clingers or whatever you would call them, and all sorts of different characters. Like, I know I had a Goofy one. I remember seeing different superhero ones. Yeah,
No date?
It does. I think maybe my eyes are just too bad.
Here, let me peep her out.
You host the show.
Oh, you host the show there, boyo.
You got it? Top left there. It's got the date. I just can't read it.
90.
90? Okay.
90, baby. So, yeah, I mean, that is pretty much the breakdown of the show. There wasn't a whole lot of meat and potatoes to talk about. There's nothing that stands out wildly about it, aside from what our personal experiences would be with it.
Yeah.
I did not, had I had more leeway with watching cartoons, this would not have been on my radar, simply because I wasn't super into wrestling. Just was not super into it. And just by the time, what time it came on,
Noon.
By that,
or 11 probably for us.
By that point in time, I was outside and playing. It was something that came on like so late. It was like after CBS Story Break. Like, okay, I'm ready to go outside. I want to go play. I want to go do this. I want to take my action figures outside, or I want to go play in the creek.
Not this kid. He wanted to play with his wrestling figures and watch Hulk Hogan.
They come out with this new wrestling thing. You can order a new figure related to this. Do you buy that? Probably not.
No.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
It's
I bought some.
There's wrestling.
Again, not the cartoon ones, but a decade ago, I might have bought some of those.
Yeah,
I'll get out some of my wrestling stuff, and you can take a photo of it if you want. Throw it on the Twitter.
We might have to do that.
I've got more than just this. I have some of those rubber figures in my room.
I got
LJ
plenty of
LJ
wrestling
ones.
figures at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
those I've held on to. Well, some of them.
Wrestling and related toys are alive and well. There is some because right now Mattel has the license for all WWE related stuff.
They have for a while.
Yeah, for quite some time. They put out some pretty decent figures. They also have a line that's a little more kid friendly that mirrors Motu figures, and I think they're using the same buck and molds.
They've
and stuff.
done old school ones that were like the Hasbro ones that came out in the 90s with like a modern update, so you could get John Cena or Seth Rollins in the type of figures and the same scale as your old Ultimate Warriors.
And there's been different crowdfunding projects, like even using the WCW brand as well. I know that eventually got folded into WWE, if I'm not mistaken.
But they own that, so they could make figures that have WCW.
They can do all of that. Right now, as far as what's on the market, and I'm pissed off because I'm going to have to track it down. I remember seeing it at Target, and I think the problem is I was playing a little game called Clearance Chicken, and I didn't grab it.
Yeah, we've all been there.
They had, with their new, more realistic, articulated line, they had Mr. T in his Hulkamania gear.
Oh, this is not where I thought. I thought this story ended in diarrhea because whenever I have Clearance Chicken, that's usually what happens.
That's usually where it frothy.
Yeah.
Those poor villagers of Pompeii. That is a wrestling related figure I do want to track down. I want that Mr. T in Hulkamania gear. So that's about the only thing I would track down in relation to this. Wrestling just wasn't
even
in
a wrestler.
He really wasn't even a wrestler.
No.
He's in WrestleMania 2. Is that who it was?
1.
Oh, he's at 1.
He was in the main event
tag team
with Hulk.
Yeah, I know him.
And then he had a
Hulk
boxing match with Roddy Piper in WrestleMania 2,
which did not go over great.
No, Piper hit him with his stool, almost $1 million babied him.
Oof,
$1 million baby T.
I pity the fool. I pity the fool. But no, as far as experiences, what you guys walk me through. This was more your wheelhouse. So you guys walk me through this. Like, what was it like for you? You guys were both avid wrestler fans. You still are. What was this like
Jason
for you and your kids?
Keeps up current.
You're more old
I
school.
haven't watched religiously in several years now, but I've had like phases where I don't watch and then I get back into it. I just haven't gotten back into it. I don't know if I will or if I'll just enjoy revisiting the stuff that I watched in the past. I think that's probably where I'm going to be and just check in occasionally. But yeah, I'm always going to have a love and appreciation for wrestling. It's been a pretty big source of entertainment for me over the course of my life.
Yeah, wrestling is a very unique and very interesting animal. You know, the amount of production that just is constantly traveling across the country. These shows that they put on, the pyrotechnics, the visuals. It is an insane thing that exists. And
it's soap operas with athletics.
It's rope opera.
And yes, that's very good.
Nice.
And yeah, there's a lot that goes on to do this. You have to have the competent athletes to tell the story in the ring, but you also have to have good writers behind the scenes that are writing intriguing storylines and character development. And, sometimes it doesn't always work, but sometimes you get those magic ingredients and you can, do a run that people will talk about for decades and decades.
Well, like you said, the Andre the Giant turning heel.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a huge frame of reference for wrestling, but I remember that it is something that is like on the tertiary of my mind's eye.
Shawn Michaels turning on Marty Jannetty and super kicking him through the barbershop window and breaking up the rockers and turning into the Heartbreak Kid. That was huge.
There's another huge piece of shit.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, class A piece of shit.
Oh, I've heard Marty Jannetty kind of too.
Well, I think he's a crazy guy. He's a different kind of piece of shit.
Shawn Michaels found God. He's one of his eyes did.
I think he's a mellow.
Oh Lord.
So I was always aware of
eye
wrestling.
on God.
But I never knew when I was little. I never knew when to watch wrestling. I never knew how to see it.
Wasn't it always a Sunday affair?
So there was Wrestling Challenge. There was WWF Superstars. But then you also had WCW, like NWA Saturday Night on TBS.
Was it Main Event? Wasn't that a
There
show?
was All American Wrestling on USA. There were multiple shows that were syndicated on the weekends. Saturday Night's
knew.
Main Event.
That's the
This
one.
is
I'm
before
thinking.
everything got completely unified.
Yeah.
Or this is like the dying days of different federations.
Yeah, and MTV did a special around this time frame that was just like the Rock and Wrestling Challenge, and that's what Cyndi Lauper was on, and it aired on MTV, which at that time that network is 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah,
that's hitting its stride. It has the youth demographic locked in.
It's kind of peak time.
Yeah,
for
and it
both
coincided
franchises,
with this era of wrestling, and I don't think with that synergy,
Very Toyetic.
it would have evolved as quickly as it did.
Yeah,
it stumbled a bit in the mid or early '90s, but then, everybody remembers the Attitude Era of wrestling when
that was a
we
big deal
were in
when we were
high
high
school.
Yeah,
everybody watched it.
I had a buddy. I grew up in this neighborhood that I live in right now, and I had
in the hallway.
I had a buddy. All the kids were older than me, so I had a friend who's like 4 or 5 years older than me, and he took me to a WWF event at the Civic Center, the Peoria Civic Center, and there I got to meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And there's a picture of me as a child, with Hacksaw and my buddy, and the
doll.
No, not my buddy doll. No.
Oh,
wherever you go, he goes.
Photo.
But it's funny because 4 or 5 years ago, I saw Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and I took that picture to him, and he signed it.
Ah,
and it was kind of cool. He said, I'm glad we're both still here, brother. And I'm sure that's the shit he says to everyone, but it was still cool to have him.
Still cool.
He signed that photo from 1986, 87, whatever it was. But, I didn't really jump into wrestling until 97 when the Monday Night Wars were really heating up and all the kids in my school were into it. And I started going to WCW shows, and I was WCW guy. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
And then once that kind of was fading away, it was very clear, this product is really not very good anymore. And I got on with the Attitude Era, and I think I probably stopped watching in about 2002, maybe right when Brock Lesnar came in.
That's when I stopped, but it was mostly because I had a kid and life,
Yeah.
And I can't afford to have cable. Okay, I just won't keep up on this. And yeah, I was gone for probably 8 years or so, and then
I was
got
gone for
back
20
into it.
years.
Yeah,
I about 5-6 months ago, I started watching religiously
into
again,
it.
and I'm into it right
Yeah,
now. And
it's
I know
fun.
I know it's totally like considered like a white trash hit kind of thing to do, but I don't care about the storylines. I don't really follow that stuff. I love the athleticism. From day one, when I really got into it in the 90s, late 90s, Rey Mysterio was like my favorite guy. I love to see what those Mexican small wrestlers can do. That's the coolest.
Luchador cruiserweights.
Luchador stuff is the coolest thing you can. And so I love today. Like a lot of the wrestlers aren't huge guys anymore. Like there's guys like Austin Theory, he's not a huge guy. He's a
from what I've seen, a lot of guys just look scrappy.
I saw him wrestle in the Indies when he was first starting out, and
he's got like a swimmer's body.
Yeah,
and he's a great talent.
He was like a 17, 18-year-old kid, and I thought he was good. I didn't think he would have gotten to where he is already. Like
But I think there's like, hey, we need to back off the steroid use, and then like as far as being fast paced, which is what people I think want to see now. The smaller guys are where it's at, and it's probably healthier for these guys. I think
Probably.
the workload is lightened a little bit with the division of the two brands of SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in play. I've always loved the athleticism, the art of the dance that they do out there. I've always really appreciated that.
Well,
and
there's a great deal of
skill.
There's almost a choreography.
Well,
to it.
There's exactly a choreography.
and it's not.
Well, I didn't want to be insulting because I know
It's
some
not-
people
it's- no,
love
it's-
wrestling, and if you make a certain reference to something, you might.
It's a
sort of like,
choreographed
don't-
fight, but
Yeah.
not all of it is 100% determined.
The more
like
the seasoned
they call
guys,
it as they go.
Yeah, the seasoned guys communicate to each other.
Yeah.
They can read each other and know what's gonna.
Yeah.
It's a very.
There's a lot.
There's a
skill
lot of
involved.
talent and skill.
There's
Yeah,
a
so I
great
really
deal of skill.
I do like professional wrestling.
It's fine.
There's a little bit
worried?
of shame in it.
Why? Because
it's a guilty pleasure.
Have you watched?
Consider what we're doing right now. Consider who's sitting.
I know.
Who's sitting.
That's why I'm
across from
changing
you.
my name to Warrior.
There's a new Netflix documentary series called Wrestlers, and like Al Snow is in it. And
I love Al Snow.
It's an interesting look at the indie levels and the beginning.
Al Snow's fantastic.
Yeah, it's. I was watching it while I was in Vegas, hanging out in the hotel room, and
You know who's also got an interesting series on YouTube is Stevie Richards. He will break down moments in matches, things that maybe didn't go right. He'll kind of walk you through, the physicality of it and how things should go.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy too, Stevie Richards.
And
Check
if
it
you just
out.
want to watch people screw up moves and
I know what this is.
and not say their lines properly, and it could be current clips and also clips from the past that people have found. Look up Botchamania on YouTube. It's been going for forever. There's like over 400 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
But that's like a weekly or bi-weekly series. They're usually like 20 to 30 minute long episodes, but it's just full of things in wrestling that didn't go right, and we're
Gaps
just
and everything
gonna
else.
revel in it.
All right.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Now, boomeranging back to a question you asked.
Yes.
How familiar are you with any of these names that are on the show? Believe it or not, there were only
talking about who you personally are
me
familiar with.
Who did Derek Hoover remember?
The only two. I take that back. 3. The only 3 I was not familiar with.
Can I guess?
Give it a shot.
There's 3 of them.
3.
Fabulous Moolah.
Yep.
Okay. 3. Tito Santana.
No.
Okay.
Wendy Richter.
That's 2.
Yep. That was
The
my
ladies
third
I
one.
was not as familiar with.
Hillbilly Jim?
No, I knew who Hillbilly
Big
Jim
John
was.
Studd.
Big John Studd.
Okay.
Big John
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, he didn't have a really long run in the WWF.
Everybody else, I have some frame of reference either at the time as a kid or living with us and him referencing these things, talking about it, and what have you.
Fabulous Moolah, also a grade A piece of shit, apparently.
Yeah, she came back in the Attitude Era a little bit.
And Mark Henry would like date her or something.
That
and,
was
like,
Mae Young.
Oh, and then like the Dudleys would throw
They
Fabulous
slammed
Moolah
her through a
tables.
table. They slammed an
stupid.
80-some-year-old woman through
She
a
deserved
table.
it. I was watching a thing just today where they're like, there's like accounts of Fabulous Moolah like literally pimping out up and comer girls.
Yeah,
like she's a
Hall of Famer.
She's a fucking cunt,
It's a different
man.
time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'm not
Look
as
it up.
familiar, but I've heard.
We're going to do an episode.
I have heard some stories. come up about her.
Real
that
bad lady.
She was not.
It's all about the money.
Not awesome.
Insecurity and wanting to stay on top is, I think, where a lot of that stuff comes from.
Yeah, probably.
You ever tried cocaine? Oh, you should.
It smells great.
Yeah.
Gives you a ton of energy.
Here's some fentanyl.
Makes all your bad feelings good.
It's not addictive.
You don't want none of this shit.
I think I'd like to try some of that cocaine.
But as far as how do you revamp it? Wrestling's alive and well.
Yeah,
there's
it's evergreen. It goes with the times.
And you have kind of had revamps and revisits from an animation standpoint. There's been, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I've got some of those DVDs.
WWF characters.
Everything that I saw that's modern did seem to be Hanna-Barbera.
It's a lot of Hanna-Barbera crossover stuff. But it exists.
So I fucking hate it.
You are not a fan.
The Jetsons can suck my cock.
His boy, Elroy.
But in regards to this cartoon itself, let's go ahead and grade it. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to give it an F.
Okay.
I did not like this. Well, and like what's sad about it is when you look at the original production art and the original, basically the style guide.
Yeah, it's cheap looking.
Well, no, the style guide wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was very cool, cartoony looking, like, okay, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final, and this is kind of, I hate to say it because they put out a lot of stuff that I liked, but
Deke.
This was kind of part and parcel for Deke.
Yeah. I never remember them having like, wow, that's some good animation.
They had a lot of product out there.
Yeah.
They had a lot of shows out there. I honestly, looking back off the top of my head, shows that stand out to me that were actually, I'm 90% certain this was Deke. That was well animated or decent character designs and didn't look so chintzy. Cops. Cops wasn't bad.
Bad Boys, what you gonna do?
Not that Cops, but a lot of people associated
song.
the two.
Inner
Great
Circle.
song. Love that video.
But the animation in this was it was rough. It was rough. There was no wrestling involved. So, like, if you're a kid like me that's not that into wrestling, this would have been a prime opportunity.
I want rock and I want wrestling,
to get you into it. There's zero wrestling. Like, the episode I watched, they end up on, like, a uncharted jungle island with Amazons.
Oh, mine was in an amusement park, and guess what? Bobby the Brain Heenan built it on an old graveyard, and the zombies came.
Was it the zombie? Okay, that's a zombie one. I know there's a Ghostbuster-esque one. Like,
Yeah. So I thought it was fun that Bobby the Brain Heenan popped up in an episode.
It just, it's an F for me.
Yeah.
It's an F.
I'm giving it a C. I watched it when it aired. I can agree it's not great. I bought a bootleg DVD of it on a whim because I was like, holy shit, when am I ever going to see this again?
You're not.
Yeah, so I put my $20.
Where did you buy that? Where did it come from?
Wizard World or C2E2.
Was that the Wizard World we went to?
Probably.
Fuck, that was awesome, except for that guy Sean that kept falling asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? And he
Sean
said,
who?
well, I can't remember his fucking last name.
Do you remember his name?
No.
He wasn't my friend.
And he was barely mine. But he managed to con his way into going to Comic-Con with us.
No, I don't remember that.
No, I do. It's burned in my memory.
I give it a C+. Here's the thing. Wrestling, you get younger kids and you get adults in it. This cartoon's for kids. So the cartoon, I think the cartoon is fine for children to watch. You can't expect to like watch professional wrestling and then have that kind of directly mirrored in the cartoon. They're not doing a lot of wrestling in the cartoon. They're going to go on adventures. The cartoons themselves, it looks like the characters from the TV. The animation does suck. It's nonsensical. It's dumb. The live action stuff is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to like here, but the animation is bad and the storytelling is no good. But if I'm Vince McMahon, and a few years ago I bought the company from my dad for $1 million or whatever the fuck it was. Of course, I want to try different things. I want to diversify. I've already swallowed up all the territories. I'm building this empire. Why not? Am I red hot right now? Why not try to make a cartoon? Why not try to diversify like that?
But overall,
it's not great. But I can see what they're trying to do, and why I don't remember it from being a kid. I think it's fine. I think they could have made better toys. I think they could have come out with a line of toys that. Yeah, to make them look exactly like the cartoon versions of what they were doing.
Tune them up. That would have been fun.
I think there could have been some fun stuff there, but I wouldn't go back and watch this. I don't really have any great memories, but I give it a C+. I think there's something to this.
All right.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that is all we have to say about rock and wrestling, but we will be back after these brief messages.
Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling will return after these messages.
It's true! There are ghosts in Count Chocula!
And they're here!
Oh no! There they go! What do we do?
Eat them! They're crunchy cereal ghosts! And Count Chocula is part of this complete breakfast.
What about my marshmallows?
There's still loads of chocolatey marshmallows.
Good! New ghosts are here! In Frankenberry, too. Who cares? New crunchy ghosts in monster cereals.
Dragon Blaster.
One more paralyzing Dragon Blast and what? Freeze, Fisto!
Dragon Blaster, Skeletor, Fisto, Roboto, and He-Man figures, each sold separately.
Roboto, attack! Your Dragon Blaster can't stop the most powerful robot in the universe. Oh yeah! Freeze, Roboto! I said freeze!
Dragon Blaster, Skeletor, new from the Masters of the Universe collection. Other action figures, each sold separately. From Mattel.
It's a world of wondrous places. It's a world of friendly faces. A world where kids and fun go hand in hand. All the world loves M&M's, a delicious chocolate wonderland. All the world loves M&M's, they're neat to eat, a joy for everyone.
M&M's chocolate candies. The milk chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
Henry, will you please see what those boys are up to?
Introducing WWF Wrestling Buddies. Wrestling Buddies from Tonka. Funk 'em, bop 'em. Wrestling Buddies are looking for action.
Hey, fellas, what's going on?
Nothing, Dad.
Who do you think you are?
Dad, Hulk Hogan!
Wrestling Buddies want to be your buddy.
Henry, what's going on up there?
Nothing, dear.
WWF Wrestling Buddies, new from Tonka. Each sold separately.
And now back to Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling.
And that, my friends, brings our lovely walk down memory lane to a close. But please join us next week as we have a patron pick episode.
Are we doing Visionaries again?
We are not doing Visionaries
Thank
again.
God.
I promise you.
I did a ton of research for Visionaries. We're not doing it next week?
We're not.
Whew.
Oh, Jason.
I thought we were doing double Visionaries.
Double Visionaries.
I thought we were doing a Foreigner episode.
No, we are not. No, next week is Patron Mike's pick. We are talking about banned and controversial toys of the 80s
So
and 90s.
like the Kiss action figures I have, and Metallica, and AC/DC, Kurt Cobain's, Jimi Hendrix.
Banned.
Sid Vicious.
Banned, not banned.
Oh, the Beatles Yellow Submarine action figures.
What the fuck, man? I thought Mike's a music guy. You said banned.
That's what he did his
figures.
research on. I did Visionaries. What are we even doing here?
We're going to talk about some fucked up toys. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, the Yellow Submarine ones are pretty fucked up.
Oh, they're pretty neat if that's your fare. But no, we will be talking about that next week. I look forward to discussion about it. I understand, Jason, you have an expose that episode.
I do have
of sorts.
If I called it life altering, that would be that wouldn't be. I wouldn't be exaggerating. If you listen to next week's episode, there will be a life altering event that takes place.
Wow, that's a tease.
That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta
Get your
say, guys.
finances in order, everybody, so you can hear this early.
I wasn't very clear. You will die at the end of next episode, so please get everything, all your affairs in order.
Get your affairs in order.
Go talk to your lawyer, get your will set.
Have a will drafted.
Yeah. Get your power of attorney in order.
Get right. Period. With your God or with people you've wronged.
Get your dick right.
Gods.
Get your dick right.
In some cases, like me, gods.
Gods.
Yeah.
Or just,
I'm a polytheist.
Polytheist.
Or just talk to Helen and Troy.
Either way, whatever. Choose your own adventure. You can, of course, catch these two cats Jason and Dustin on Radio Rewind every Friday with our good buddy Kembo Slice. Kevin.
That's nice. What a nice thing to say, Derek.
Oh.
DJ Kebmo.
People always say something nice about Derek, and I always struggle to come up with even one good thing to say.
I'm sure.
But here he is plugging the show that we do. That's very sweet.
I know
of
you don't care for me all that much.
Thank you for promoting the other show we do. I wouldn't have brought that up.
I know. You can, of course, find me, Derek J. Hoover, on X. You can engage with the show at Yesterday's Pod. If you want to share any anecdotes about some of the properties we've talked about or message us a little more long form, you can email us at yesterdayspod@gmail.com. Visit yesterdaysmedia.com, of course, for our episode schedule and articles regarding the properties that we have covered. If you are in a position to help the show grow, please consider being a patron at patreon.com/yesterdayspodcast. That is going to wrap it up for Yesterday's this week, but we will see you next Monday.